game that everyone's excited about. Michigan, Ohio State. Ohio State 7.5-point home favorites, 57 the total in this game. I mean, when I look at this, look, these teams are both flawed. I think people are making too much of a big deal about Michigan barely surviving Illinois. First of all, Michigan was losing bodies left and right. Blake Corum got hurt. Many of their skill position weapons on offense were banged up and or left the game against Illinois. And yet J.J. McCarthy and crew, they gutted it out. They found a way against an Illinois team that's solid. You know, Illinois is a solid football team this year. Shouldn't act like they just barely beat, Florida International or something. No, I mean, Illinois is a solid football team. I don't think you can punish Michigan too much for that. First of all, this is probably not a game I'm betting from a side perspective. Obviously, Michigan snapped the ugly losing streak, the drought against Ohio State last year, 42-27 with that win. Ohio State wants redemption this year. A lot of those players that played last year, Stroud at quarterback, Henderson at running back, a lot of the same faces are back this year. They want redemption, and they're obviously a tough team at home, but I don't know if I'm rushing to lay 7.5 here with Ohio State. They've been a little bit flawed too. The Northwestern game wasn't pretty. Penn State on the road was a close game, much of it. Maryland was a close game, much of it last week on the road. In fact, if Maryland puts a drive together at the end of that game, they might have pulled the upset, but of course, they didn't have much time. They were backed up, and Ohio State got the defensive touchdown to put that game away. So this is more of a game where I'm just going to sit back and enjoy it, watch it. I think when it comes to the total here with these two teams, I think I could make a case for the over, and it's been a dominant over series history. 8 straight head-to-heads. Ohio State and Michigan have gone over. We've seen 69, 83, 101 just in the last 3 years alone in terms of total points. For some reason, these two teams collide, points, and more points. So I think that's the bet I'm closest to making on this game is over the total. Conor, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it gets over too again here. Ohio State, I think can score. I'm not impressed with that defense. I talked about all year when they're going to play someone a little bit better, and even last week with Maryland scoring those points. So Michigan's going to score on them. I know they finally broke it last year, and they got the win. Illinois, I split it up. I did the Ian Cameron split with Illinois. They took care of business first half. Michigan should be pumped here. Hopefully they're not flat early like they've been. But yeah, I'm with Big Show and his Go Blue here. I'd be on the points over a touchdown. I think it's just too many with a defense like Ohio State's. Unless they just come out and dominate and turnovers on McCarthy, which is still a question mark with him. I think they're in this one.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it's just a little too much delay with Ohio State. Like I say, don't know if I'm going to be on Michigan, but it feels like it's a little bit too rich for me on the Buckeyes laying 7. And plus, we have to know if Corum's playing. He's day-to-day, obviously, with that ankle injury. I think he'll do everything he can to play. If he's even 80% healthy and able to move on the knee injury of his that he's got, I think you're going to end up seeing him in there. He'll find a way to play in a game of this magnitude. Obviously, Big Ten championship, Rose Bowl, and playoff, obviously, all still on the line here for these two teams. Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt, Fox Television, noon Eastern on Saturday. It should be a fun one. I mean, how good is it for Gus and Joel? They got the USC game last week. That was epic, and this one could be as well.